Hey, how's it going? I'm Dan Fradenburgh. I'm a real estate guy, and so's my friend Brandon Cobb. Brandon, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. It's great to be here.
For sure, right? And this is Chess with Investors. Originally, it was called Chess with Commercial Real Estate Investors. I've been playing around with Chess with Real Estate Investors, but Chess with Investors is a little bit broader. And if you want to know what on earth is going on, there's a few different things. One is this is the world of the internet and social media, so everybody has to have some sort of weird quirk to gain more attention and more of an audience. And this is a nice opportunity for the two of us to get to know each other on a much better level than we normally would. But that's some exciting stuff. So Brandon, before we get excited, I know that you're trying to open the account and click on this, that, and the other thing, but do you want to introduce yourself to the audience while we're getting this together?
Yeah, I'm clicking through everything right now. And to your point, what better way to get to know somebody than to just completely take them off guard and have their focus on a chess game while you're talking about investments and everything. I love this. This is such a, I was trying to visualize like how this was going to go in my head because I overthink chess and I take too long sometimes because I overanalyze everything. I'm very like risk averse in what I do. And so all my chess games take forever. And so one of the things that I was working on is how do I speed this up? I'm going to have to make more quick-witted decisions here. But yeah, my name is Brandon Cobb, co-founder of HPG Capital. We do a lot of entry-level housing and Nashville, Tennessee. We like turning farmland into entry-level housing communities. We work with a lot of investors. We invest our own money in deals. And I'm excited to jump in and do some chess and talk with you today, Dan.
All right, beautiful. And the good news is we do the 15-minute with 10-second increment games here. Okay, you're white, so you have to go first. So good stuff. All right, starting with E4, staying traditional. All right, so yeah, I love what you're saying here. Maybe I can do. Yeah, I think I will do this. Okay, so as far as chess goes, I love the element about how it gets people off script really, really quickly, and like that's one of the unfortunate truths about real estate and different things like it is you really have to find out who's got their act together and who's blowing smoke.
Right.
And when you're trying to figure out how not to lose terribly at the same time, it's kind of tough. It's funny though, because like some people they take it real personal. Fortunately, I haven't run into much of anybody who's like that on this show yet, which is really good. But I certainly do. I definitely take it personal. And the thing that's
I'm extremely competitive, and chess is not a game where I feel like I can go out and make a bunch of challenges and bets, and it's my brother kicks my butt in chess and he wants to play, and I'm like, oh dude, like I haven't been able to figure out. I know that you have to like control like the center of the board, and you want to try to control as much of that as possible. I've actually watched some tutorial videos too, and like Magnus Carlsen play. It's amazing watching guys who can do it with their eyes closed and play the games like that. Like that's the kind of stuff that just blows my freaking mind, honestly.
Oh yeah, if you look out there enough, you'll see there's one video where they had Magnus name the game, the actual match, by the chess position, but all of the chess pieces were replaced with checkers. And he could still name which, like the year and the two people who were playing that individual match for that position. So yeah, it's if you got aspirations of becoming a chess grandmaster, like to that level, I think it's fair to say you got your work cut out for you.
Yeah,
it's just terrifying, quite frankly.
I saw three grandmasters once blindfolded and beat them. That to me was an insane game. I just can't even fathom being able to have that kind of what is it where they've got like the memory where they see things. That's crazy to me.
Right. Well, a lot of it is practice, and I find that when you kick through it enough, then you'll start to develop it. But I also wanted to mention one thing in particular, which was you were talking about taking over the center, which of course is very important. But the other thing though is that there are some openings that the way that they're designed is you start off flanking the center, because when people take up the center at the beginning, they're leaving themselves vulnerable to certain attacks. That's kind of interesting if I do that, but I think I'm gonna play boring chess by doing that.
Come on, man. You can't play boring chess. We're all the
Well,
people who do the good stuff.
yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, so it's pretty crazy. I was mentioning, just I should relate this to you. How rude of me not to include my favorite audience member here. But the thing I was telling Brandon before this is how I ripped the Band-Aid to boot camp myself in chess. And okay, so you're doing it that. Oh, okay. Whoopsie daisies.
I'll shoot.
So. Yeah. Well, my eye was on that because I was planning on pinning your knight to your queen, but since you put your bishop out there, I figured I'll take that. But that's all right because we're gonna have a rematch after this anyway. I like to have at least 2 games when we can. But so Brandon, you were mentioning that your brother loves to play chess. So was it one of your parents who taught you how to play? Like where'd you pick it up? How did it enter your life?
So I picked it up a long time ago, actually. Just, boy, it was a glass board that my dad left me and was playing it with some friends. That's kind of how we got into it. And then I played online for a little bit when I was really getting into it. It's a good thinking game. It definitely allows you to think several moves ahead. And there's like the number of strategies that are involved with this. There's an infinite number. I was just really impressed because you can go as far down the rabbit hole as you really want with this thing.
Very true. Very true. It's quite the game. But as far as real estate goes, I tell people regularly that my way to get into real estate is not the way that I'd recommend. And I got in through tech. So I worked for web.com back around like 2010 ish, and so then I ended up opening up my own CRM agency after getting to know a bunch of online entrepreneurs. And for me, all roads lead to real estate if you're looking for bigger and better employers. And I ended up getting hired by a guy who he'd been flipping, or at least doing 10 house transactions per month for years before he hired me. And so basically I knew that, like after I really did the research and found out how he was doing it, it was clear that I was on the wrong side of the right business. So, okay, so how am I going to do that? Okay, am I actually going to trade that way? I might. And then that.
Trade it.
Oh. I could
So you
do that
started in
instead.
tech. That was your background.
Yeah.
How did you get into
Yeah.
like how did you first discover real estate? When was it's like people have this journey and then they realize, oh my God, there's like a light bulb that goes off. It's like, I don't have to work a job or sit in a cubicle. I can make investments and have those paid. Everything, there's usually that light bulb moment. What was that for you?
So, I would say that it was mostly it was mostly just knowing that I was on the wrong side of the right business, watching the amount that my old boss was making, because the way that people would pick out snacks for a barbecue, that's the way that he was checking out these different houses, these different and making offers on these different deals. And my perception at that point was like your house is going to be one of your biggest investments in your lifetime. So like he's busy buying and selling people's livelihoods. And so I'm going it started to hit me. My background for tech was from I straight out of high school I went to electrical engineering. So I've always been like really great at math, because it's the only way you can get anywhere in that. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and castle then. But yeah, so I very quickly realized the numbers involved, and how it makes way more sense to be involved in businesses where you're dealing with bigger numbers. So that's what was attractive to me. So I guess I'm confessing that real estate is a means to an end, and it's not like, at least for me anyway. It's not so much. Just something like, oh well. Like, I also think that like landlords in general, we have a PR problem. I think, like public relations, which is a lot of people, like have given a bad name to landlords, and I think that that's because people just don't know the truth. And the truth is, it's a very mature industry, and so that means there's all sorts of competition. So if you hear somebody saying, "Oh well, you're gonna, get rich quick," or whatever you want to call it, it's just not realistic, because like what would make somebody inclined to actually give you that kind of like massive income, unless you're giving similarly massive value in return.
Yeah. How do you give similarly massive value in return?
So for me, like it used to be that I'd rely on my full stack developer background, so tech and IT. I can develop a web application from scratch, which even fresh college grads, they can't usually do that, because they'll probably know, like maybe they'll know how to code, but they won't know the database piece, or if they do code, they don't know how to design things that look pretty, things like that. So if I do that, I can do that there. Yeah, this is a pretty tight position that we got on the go right here. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I know what I'll do. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I feel like you got to think, when people trade their 50, 100 million bucks for something. Think about that. It's a transaction that they're purchasing something. That is a huge purchase. And so the amount of value you've got to deliver. I mean, think of the other things that you'll pay for in life that you'd spend, $100,000 on, $1 million on. It's pretty crazy if you think like the amount of trust that has to happen for that. I feel like that's where we've been successful, is just the amount of trust that's involved. Like, it takes time to build that trust, that relationship. A lot of what you have to put out there now. I think that it's going to be impossible to do business going forward, specifically in real estate and raising money, unless you've got a personal brand out there. People want to see your videos. They want to get a feel for you. They want to see some of who you are and be able to make that connection. Because if you're competing against people that are doing that and you're not, if they've got content out there and you don't, if they know who they are and they've got a connection to their story and their background and you don't, if they know what their strategy is and they don't know yours, you're going to have a really big problem succeeding going forward. All right, that's a pretty good move here. I'm trying to think of what.
Right. Well, I could fill in the blanks there too. So you reminded me of the other piece of the puzzle that came out, which is that another unique angle I took is it really comes down to legal recourse, right? So the fact is, you're talking about trust. Well, part of it is, of course, you have to trust the system, the municipal governments and whatever levels, to actually follow through with their duties, such as like if you have to foreclose, if you have to arbitrate, anything like that. Okay, so you saw that. Let's see here. Oh, actually, unless you're just trying to do that instead.
You said down to the legal trouble if they've got so you're talking about like the paperwork and what's involved in the event that things don't work out.
Yeah, I'm talking about the foreclosure process. Yeah, so sheriff sales, like will they actually work out or not? And one of the major pieces of the puzzle in that case, though, is let's see here. I'm not going to go there. Yeah, I still want to do that other idea. So anyway, like coming from CRMs and into capital raising, the piece for the audience to basically put two and two together here, is if you want to raise capital, in other words, if you want to take passive investors on for your business, there are laws about that, and there is an entity specifically to govern it, and it's the SEC. So the two most common exemptions that people can have to be allowed to raise capital in those ways, the most common one's called 506B, and then the other one is 506C. Now, when it comes to 506B, I recognize that one of the biggest things that they rely on to prove that you're not just creating a Ponzi scheme or something like that is the SEC is going to require documentation of your substantive relations. In other words, it's a private deal, so you have to be able to prove that you actually knew the person. You weren't. There's actually some sort of business. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and throw caution to the wind and do what I was thinking.
Have you heard of anybody getting audited? I mean, I've heard like the big guys that we see on like the news. I haven't heard of like small guys getting audited because there's a lot of people that don't follow the rules. They don't pay the $12,000 to the attorney to do the 506B or 506C. A lot of people aren't reporting their interactions with investors or history if it is 506B. They're not doing their blue sky filings. It's just kind of the wild, wild west. A lot of these joint ventures. Like, what are your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, I completely agree with you that there are a bunch of people who are like that, and the issue though is that just with all law, this is coming from attorneys, like because I've picked their brains on a lot of this quite a bit. The law is complaint based. So basically, as long as nobody's complaining, nobody really cares. But as soon as people start complaining, that's when heads start to roll, and so that's really the issue. So the ones that I've heard about getting in trouble, there were complaints involved. But I do believe that, like government agencies like the SEC, they still have to make sure they're getting bang for their buck, for lack of a better term, right? Just simply because, what I'm trying to say though, is that that boils down to they're going to go for the most egregious offenders, before they go for anybody else. So now, is that going to change my plan? Here. So now if I go there, then I have to move that and that. So yeah, I think I do have to do that, even though I really don't like it.
Have you ever had any deals that you've lost investors' money on and had to do something about it?
I haven't. Touch wood, knock knock. So I've lost money on deals, but I've not lost investor money to date.
That's good.
So let's try this.
All right.
Yeah, you got me tied up pretty good though, even though I got a material advantage.
Yeah, we had a deal after interest rates rose up where we had a 30% loss in one particular syndication. We ended up having to pivot them over and give them shares in another deal that we did to be able to make up for it. Something you definitely want to go through. It was our first go around, so 8 years in business, first hoorah that we had to go through. But the good thing is it was surprising when you are honest with people about what's going on. They appreciate that, and we ended up having a lot of people who reinvested, even it wasn't 100% fixed yet. But I think that it's not avoiding the capital losses in this business. If you think you're going to go your whole career and just never lose money, you're a better investor than Warren Buffett. You're insane. It's not avoiding the capital losses. It's how you handle the situation that's most important. And I think that's what I see a lot of people do a poor job of, is they stop communicating. They're not honest. And that's not what you do. Your communication has to increase. You've got to over-explain what's going on, and most importantly, create a plan and communicate that plan when you have things go awry. What are you trying to do here? I'm trying to, let's think. Yeah, I'm trying to get the middle.
Normally, I tell you, but this particular time, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, see that.
Yeah, and honestly, that's a demonstration of respect, quite frankly, because if you were doing poorly, then I'd have no problem telling you exactly what's going on. But
Oh,
you're not doing poorly.
thank you. That's a compliment because this is a little bit tougher to make good decisions here. Oh, that was a good move. Quite see that. All right. The horse can grab that. If you go back right there. Oh, let's see. I was really wanting to grab that.
Yeah, it's a nasty pin.
Oh, shoot. So what does the future look like for you guys? What are y'all working on for the rest of the year, and what are y'all hoping to build up to in 2025?
My big one right now is I'm with a debt fund, which is a really interesting pivot from being just a regular syndicator. My favorite part about it is it's much simpler to explain. So with a typical deal, you go through the underwriting, and and you'll find that there are a lot of things that have to go right. And so in other words, there are a few ways that things can go wrong. Whereas if you're a lender, then it's just a matter of, if you do, a higher rate of interest than a bank typically would, then you just have to, you basically take a little bit off the top, and you just have to know how exactly do people protect that investment. And the answer for that, okay, yeah, I know what I'm doing next. Okay. So basically doing loan to value calculations is the simplest way of doing it. So that way, if somebody, even if they never pay you a cent of the loan, then you have the right of foreclosure in a first position. And so you should be able to liquidate and still get the returns that you're projected to hit.
So you guys are part of a debt fund. What are y'all lending on?
Yeah, so it's a residential real estate, at least right now. Okay, so that's covered. So I'm gonna hit that.
Loans to people who are like fix and flip properties.
Right, exactly. But of course, that's one of the things too, is when you're coming from tech instead of coming from other areas of real estate where you're probably going to be putting some of your income out of pocket into the deals. I'm really sponsor dependent. And I just mean that they're the ones calling the shots. I'm the tail. I'm not the dog.
Yeah.
But they're not for long at this rate though, because things are looking good. I think this is a really good time to be making more real estate moves. Like what did they say? It's
so you're own debt fund. Am I hearing that right? Like right now, you do a fund of funds model where you're investing in other people. Ah, crap! I didn't see that.
It was stuck anyway because the bishop, your bishop, it could only stay on that diagonal, and I had my other bishop pointing at it anyway. But I did the knight just because you won't be able to hit it with the king, and of course it threatens that rook.
It's a good move.
It's like you had me really sweating a few moves ago. So I'm just glad I found that one tactic where you were in check and it revealed an attack on your queen.
Yeah, I missed that one.
But in Tennessee is a great area to be focusing on. It's way better than being on the internet or Canada.
So I've heard.
Yeah.
All right, what am I going to do here? All right, seems like I'm going to do it right here. Yeah, right there. Get this guy.
It's my rooks are feeling so lonely. They're like, can I do something, guys? It's like, no, I don't have anything for you right now.
Oh, yeah, just got to figure out how to. What markets are you focused on?
So Arizona is the biggest one. Like the biggest thing that we find right now is that the borrowers are everywhere, but the investors not so much. So that's right now. You know, we've got our first investment and our first distribution already deployed. So that's exciting. But you know, it's tough going with the amount of fear in the market these days. But yeah, so Arizona because the founder he's in Gilbert. Which have you been to Phoenix before, Brandon?
Yeah, I went to Ray. Was it Ray's Fest? I think a few months ago. It's in Phoenix, Arizona. It's a really good market. It's got some of the fastest growing rents in the country. A lot of people are saying, "Hey, what goes up really fast must go down really quick." So I think that a lot of people are anticipating some distress in the Phoenix market, in particularly. They're honing in on wanting to scoop up some good deals that are coming. I've got my own money in some multifamily deals in Phoenix that are not doing so hot. So
right.
First row view to all the crap going on.
Yeah, right. Did we end up meeting up there at Ray's Fest? Because I was there this year as well. I don't know. If we didn't cross paths, or my memory's having a little.
I don't know. Maybe we met.
Yeah, maybe we did, and we traded cards and connected on LinkedIn, and then let's see here, 6 months went by, and the old noodle isn't what it used to be. But I know I shook hands with at least half the people there, so because I was definitely working the crowd. Let's see here, so I can also do that, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, it was a really good event. Hunter's a personal friend and a really good guy. He's got a great community. I'm part of the Raise Masters community, so I know a lot of people
in it. Right. So there you go. So, and what part of Tennessee did you say you're in?
Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville. Okay, good stuff. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, it's I've been fortunate enough to meet a lot of what's the word for someone from Tennessee? Is it Tennesseeite or something?
No, we call them Nashvillians.
Well, Nashvillians specifically, but what about the state? If you're from Tennessee,
Volunteers is the state name for us. So Tennessee Volunteers.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, because I even I spend enough time on the internet to know was it Nashville in the front, Memphis in the back?
It's specific. Memphis in the back.
Yeah. It's a description of a type of mullet.
Oh, yeah. That's a really good way to describe it.
Yeah. So no, that's already covered, so that won't help. Okay.
Did you guys have any problems with your fix and flip clients paying you through the interest rate hike? I know a lot of hard money lenders that are friends of mine here locally ended up having to foreclose on a lot of properties that they weren't getting paid.
Well, yes. So far, like I haven't been with this company long enough to have that problem. But man, when I was vetting Joe and his organization, I really put the gears to them. You know what? Let's just go ahead and do this. I know it's covered. But oh yeah, okay, yeah. Now I know how I'll do this. All right. But oh, actually, right? Yeah, there is a better way of doing what I was just doing. But whatever. But yeah. So I forgot where I was going completely. I'm too busy thinking of
You guys had
it's
all your borrowers stop paying the monthly payments because I know a lot. Those hard money loans are expensive and they don't anticipate going for like a full year, right? A lot of people
right.
ran out of money on those particular type of deals and couldn't pay the hard money lenders. I had a lot of local friends who do hard money lending had to foreclose on a lot of people. And that was a really
Yeah.
good. I got a
yeah. I got
days here.
right. Yeah, I got another friend who he's been in hard money lending for much longer, and so I guess I can do this, can't I? Because I want material. But yeah, he's taken a few people to court these days.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Usually you don't have to. Usually you can just convince them to sign a quick claim deed. Look good. Let's just not go through the headache.
Yeah.
All right. So that opens up that. But I'll tell you, hard money lending is really great for passive income. There's very few things where you can get. I'm just assuming y'all are raising money probably somewhere around 8 to 12% annualized for investors, and we're lending it out at like 3.12 to 15% or something like that on it. And there's not a whole lot that get offered that much monthly cash flow. The problem with a lot of multifamily is you just think there's no. Your cash flow pays like your gas bills, right? And that's it. It's not this enormous amount of money every single month. Man, you really got there here on this one. Let's see. So, yeah, it's like in order to pay your bills, you'd have to invest like $2 million to get your 7 pref or whatever. You pay your living expenses. And so, being able to save up that money for most people, tax free, you gotta make $4 million or whatever to save up $2 million. It takes eons to do that.
Just so you know, so this is a 15-minute and 10-second increment.
I can't do that. Okay.
Yeah. So, and you only got a minute left, but you get an extra 10 seconds each move. So.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Come on.
That's pinned. So I think I'm going to do this.
I'm moving my king down now. All right, good.
Do you want a knight? Because you can have that knight if you want.
Yeah.
And I think that my rooks might finally achieve that aspiration of getting into play here.
I got like 52 seconds. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, it's fine. You can do about whatever now. I don't think it's that important.
Man, I mean, at this rate, I might as well just surrender the game.
Yeah. Resigns on the right if you want. Actually, I'm going to do this so that way you can't go after my pawn over here that's going to promote.
Yeah. I was about to say, like, I always enjoyed going to the very end, and actually declaring victory and taking the actual king. But at this point, I could waste a bunch of time, but you pretty much got me beat. So
Yeah, there's a resign button on the. Yeah, there you go. Okay, cool. And let's hit the rematch button. We'll do one more here before we give the audience back the rest of their day. But I think you're doing also a fantastic job of doing both at the same time. The rematch should be a notification in the bottom right. It's like a little chessboard with a little red one on it. See if we can blast through one more.
Game
And
review.
but
Game review.
oh, you're in game review already. Now there should be a rematch pop up there in the bottom right hand corner. If you're looking in StreamYard, you can see I'm waggling my cursor around where it'll show on yours. See in the bottom right hand corner, there's this little board icon with a one.
I don't have the board icon. I've got the question mark underneath it.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's should be a notification somewhere, or maybe
Once a rematch, I gotta hit the check.
bingo. All right, cool. And this one I'll be. This time I'm white, so that's fun. All right. So, and as far as actually, I mentioned before we hit record. One thing that I think, or one thing that you came out with that I thought was absolutely fantastic in a post. Because I know that sometimes I can pass for like maybe my mid 30s, but I'm actually in my mid 40s, and so I do have the hairline that goes along with being in your mid 40s. And you were mentioning that you actually did something about it for yourself, and I think that that's something that is really important for people to know about that there are those options out there. So you want to say a thing or two about doing something about your hair?
Yeah, so I went to Turkey and I got hair transplants. My hair was one of the things I was never really insecure about, but when I would work out at the gym, my attention would just go to my bald spots and my hair was disappearing. I've got it in my family. I never thought twice about it. My wife was like, man, you do so good. Look at all this hair you used to have here. And so I went and got estimates from We Grow Hair here in the Nashville, Tennessee market. My brother had it done. He had paid $10,000, was going to have two procedures done to knock that out. And his results went fantastic. He did FUT, which is follicle unit transfer. I did FUE, which is follicle unit extraction. And then, so I was all set to have surgery here. I was going to do it. This was something that I was excited about. I was going to move forward with. And my buddy had his mom was in Turkey. So she lived there. He was like, no, you've got to go get it done by my friend. He's been doing it for 15 years. I'm like, I'm not going to a different country to get my hair transplant done. This is something that's just way too important. And I'm like, no, come check. And so I got the chance to meet somebody who this surgeon had done the hair transplants done at my buddy's wedding. And I was like, man, he's like 55, full head of hair now. This is amazing. Like, holy cow, this is really, really cool. All right, let me look into this more. So I started researching it like I would anything else, right? I'm going to eat, or same thing I did to find a hair transplant company here in the United States. And I just loved all the reviews and everything that I thought. So I was like, all right, well, let me look into this more and check this out. And so I started talking with them, and I got a quote for the procedure, and it was $1,500 to do the whole thing. And
wow,
it cost me about $3,000 with the flight and everything. And they pick you up in a limousine, and it's super nice hotel accommodations. I got the whole thing buttoned up. So I went over there and ended up getting my hair transplants done. They have a translator that translates everything for you while you're there. And my brother was going to have two different surgeries done, and they told me the same thing. I got all of it done at the same time. People can watch here. I'm kind of ducking my head down so you can see my hair, but it was fantastic. I mean, it turned out great, and I don't have to do any other surgeries. It's my own real hair.
Yep, they definitely did a great job, and that's why I'm encouraging it. I think a lot of people, they're suspicious that that I've got a bald head under here, and before the show I was sharing my real hair with Brandon, so you can see that there's definitely something left to be desired, I guess I could say, in my hairline, but it's not the biggest disaster that humanity has ever seen. I'd say it that way, but it's still not. It's not where I prefer it, but of course, it's being my age. It's got to show some way, right?
Your
Not
hair
just
looks
in the
really
gray of
good.
my beard.
It looks really
Thank you.
good. But yeah, highly recommend. Turkey. If you're going over there, make sure you pick a good surgeon. My buddy was actually over there at the same time I was. Didn't even know that he was over there, and he had a machine do it, and his hairline looks too perfect, and it kind of looks fake. He didn't like it. So do a lot of research and know the difference between FUT and FUE. But let me tell you, I don't have I'm just looking in that mirror every day when I'm working out, and I don't have the bald spots anymore. And you feel good about yourself. You're like, man, look at all that hair. But everyone said I look 10 years younger. I'll show you some pictures of me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I didn't expect to get into scalp real estate, but that seems to be where we are, right?
We're in scalp real estate.
Yeah. So now I can do that.
One of the best investments you can make. Scalp real estate.
Yeah. There you go. It's they're not making any more of it, right?
Right. What's the biggest challenge you've ever had to face in your real estate investing career?
I definitely being undercapitalized. That's the biggest one. Like when I'm telling people that, oh cool. When I'm telling people that I don't recommend coming from CRM technology into real estate, what I'm actually trying to say is don't go into real estate undercapitalized. If I'm really going to, put a point on it in that way.
I mean, you say undercapitalized, like just save up more of your own money, or what would you have done differently?
Yeah, and like in my case, I wouldn't say it's so much saving, because my big thing was I moved to the other side of the world a few too many times, and will that work? Well, I should probably just tuck this guy over here for a bit. But yeah, it's basically when I moved back to Canada back in, I think it was the end of 2017. Kim Jong-un was lobbing missiles into the Sea of Japan, and China says that Taiwan's not a real country. So I was figuring that, a high likelihood, high probability of instability in the region, and I wasn't about to let my kids be the next poster children of the atrocities of war. So I'm like, okay, pull that ripcord. It's actually funny, just even, I think it was like 10 months before I moved to Canada, I actually had a trip back to Canada to get my last worldly possessions sent to Taiwan, because I thought I was going to grow old and die there. Mandarin is my second language. Like, I've explained the theory of relativity using only Mandarin before. So, that's who I am there, where most people wouldn't anticipate anything of the sort.
Let's see here, to castle your king and rook.
You can't, and it's because I moved my bishop to where it is. That's actually why I moved it there, is to stop you from castling. So you're not allowed to castle if one of the squares in between are threatened. But if that bishop wasn't there, all you'd have to do is click on your king and then G8.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay, so it's castle.
Yeah.
It's 3 in front. I did not realize that.
Yeah, so you still have the opportunity to castle if you develop your light square bishop and your queen. You can still castle queen side, but
Gotcha.
yeah.
Oh, you can castle either one of them. It doesn't matter.
Yes, that's right. But the king only moves 2 spaces, regardless of what direction it's in.
Right.
So if you castle long, then what's going to happen is you're going to have 2 spaces empty, like on the queen side, next to your king, And if you castle kingside, yeah, okay, there you go. Okay, then. So I guess we'll do... Is that what I really want to do, though? Does it matter what I really want to do? Yeah, all right, I'll do that. So, but yeah, that's the long and short of it. Okay, so now that has to get backed all the way out. So I guess you're going here, aren't you? Yeah, I'm not being the friendliest opponent I could be.
I don't think you should, right?
It's funny, yeah, because yeah, I didn't. That's the thing I didn't like about chess, and some people would say it's weird for somebody with this particular personality trait to get into real estate, but I don't like zero sum games. Okay, I don't like to play things where this person gets to take and that person has to lose. Now, of course, I think that it's not that hard to reconcile the two, just because it's a mutually agreed upon deal. Yeah. It's the circumstances you won't necessarily always agree on. Okay, so that's covered by that. Yeah, I need to get way more aggressive here. But that's how I feel about chess in general.
Chess is a zero-sum game.
It is a zero-sum game, but so it's my only exception. It's that one. It's like, no, it's okay. You can lose and cry about it. Yeah, that's quoting my son. My son does sometimes jokes about that from the internet. Okay, so now I could go back there again, but I don't think I want to. I really didn't want to give up that bishop, but oh well. All right. It's not like I'm distracted by being in a podcast or something.
I got to give it to you. This is really, really good what you've done here. Getting people out of their comfort zone. Get to know who they are, because, yeah, it's hard to chat and play chess. I've never chatted play chess. It's kind of like everything's been 100% focused on this.
Yeah, you pretty much have a free chance to tell somebody to shut up if they're bugging you during a chess game. But
let's see, you put that queen there. That queen is dangerous. Man, what am I going to do here? Let's do that.
okay.
So what do you want to do long term with your real estate investments? Like, what these real estate investments are going to be a tool to do something. What is it?
So right now, it seems to be to do exactly what I'm already doing. And what I mean by that is I found out that I do real estate so that I can meet new people via podcasts rather than the other way around. I find that talking to people is it's the best way of spending spending my life. It's just I can't get over how wonderful the experience is as a whole.
Meeting new people. Yeah.
Right. It's pretty rare when I'm like ahead in material and I'm sweating this much. Okay. So now I guess yeah, I guess I have to go here then. I see my next move. Okay.
Ooh. Goodness.
Okay. I got my next few moves figured out, I think.
Do you?
Yeah.
Let's see.
But what else is fun for you, Brandon? What sort of hobbies do you tend to enjoy?
I'm really into Wagyu steak. I've got a whole freezer load of like Denver steaks, picanha, some A5 New York strips, Kagoshima, Bloodline. I love it. I love it. I love steak. I like food. I cook. Food to me brings people closer together.
Unlike chess.
Unlike
No,
chess.
it's not true. Yeah, chess definitely does bring people together. I think that there's a level of mutual respect that comes out from playing.
100%.
But yeah,
I feel like I've got boom, boom. And if I do that, he's screwed. You can do that. And I really want to line that up. Like there's got to be a way in here some way, somehow. That. All right. Let's move. Oof. That was a good move.
thank you. Yeah, it's yeah, giving up a rook and just completely ignoring the fact that I could take the bishop. That's yeah, that's not okay. Yeah, I guess I do have to take it now.
Wondered.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me do that. The king.
I think it's okay for me to start giving you suggestions. I think your only move is to block with your bishop, because then at least we trade queens instead of me just getting your queen in return for a rook.
Yeah.
If I go like that, then yeah, I think
I didn't see that rook right there.
it kind of had bad news written all over it.
Yeah, you got me beat. I got nothing but rooks and stuff left. I mean, I can take you, but this is just going to be a slow death at this point. All right. I'm going to have to resign. You got me.
All right. Well, that was so much fun. Yeah, you had me sweating both times. Now, of course, we go back and forth pretty frequently on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's a great way to reach me, but Brandon, is LinkedIn the best way to reach out to you, or is it through a website? How should people reach out?
Yeah, it depends. I'm on all the social media channels, LinkedIn, Facebook. If you want to follow personal stuff, if you're somebody who's interested in learning more about real estate, if you're trying to build a legacy, make an impact, and retire using real estate as a tool to do that, and you want to learn more about investing in entry-level housing, specifically in Nashville, Tennessee, you can go to our website, hbgcapital.net. It's pronounced Harry Bob Gary Capital.net. On the website, we got a free ebook, 100 questions business owners ask before investing. So you can hop on the website and grab that free ebook.
I love it. I love it. And one thing that people in the audience should be aware of if you don't have much real estate experience is that investing in your backyard quite frequently is not the best idea, especially if you have things like rent control, making it so that you can't keep up with inflation or different regulations like that. Your backyard might not make sense. Instead, if you invest somewhere that has good population growth, like say because the weather doesn't suck like it does up here in Canada, then Tennessee is a place that has had great inflows. But that's more of a Brandon thing. As far as what you can do for me, one of the biggest ones, of course, is if you look down there, there's this awful subscribe button, and subscribing is clearly delicious. As you can see, look at the smile on that face. He's so glad that he subbed. So that's how you can help me. But thanks again for joining, Brandon, and make sure you connect with both of us on LinkedIn, and we'll see you next time on Chess with Investors. Thanks, Brandon.